Welcome to NarrativeNook where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening. Two of Martin's men each carried a hefty box, following closely behind as they left the grand estate. The moment Martin stepped out of the main building, tears betrayed his stoic facade, streaming freely down his face. His steps quickened into a desperate run. His voice trembled with pain and sorrow. "Serena, hang in there." No matter what, she had to hang in there. "I'm Martin. I'm taking you home." He feared the woman in his arms might slip away with each passing second. He wanted to hold her tight, yet he dreaded causing her more pain. The RV was parked just outside the villa. As he sprinted out, the door swung open, welcoming him inside. Inside the RV lay the most advanced medical equipment, alongside the top-notch doctor he had hired for a fortune. "Save her. She's burning up." Martin carefully placed Serena on the prepped stretcher. The RV door closed, and the doctors immediately began examining Serena, while the vehicle roared to life. Martin's gaze drifted to the window, catching sight of the Collins family servants tossing Serena's used linens, clothes, and personal items into the trash bins outside. The bins were overflowing, with piles of belongings heaped on the ground like small hills. "Mr. Cooper, Serena's wounds weren't treated in time and have become severely infected, leading to a high fever. This is critical, and we need to get her to the hospital immediately. Please prepare yourself mentally for what's to come." The doctor's voice drew Martin's attention back. "What do you mean?" Martin asked, his voice shaking. "She has been feverish for 2 or 3 days now. Her body temperature is so high that her digestive, nervous, and circulatory systems are showing signs of abnormality, which could lead to organ damage. This injury could cause elevated transaminases, a drop in platelets, and abnormal clotting functions, among other issues. In short, the prognosis isn't good." It was as if a thunderbolt had struck Martin. He knew that bringing Serena back and keeping her alive had slim chances, but he hadn't expected the situation to be this dire. Furthermore, her forehead, palms, and the back of her hands are swollen from untreated wounds, some bleeding, others purulent. Additionally, the shards of glass in her knee are deep, and without timely cleaning and medical attention, the joint has swollen, and she can't straighten her leg. "We'll need an X-ray at the hospital to see if there's any glass left inside. If there is, the situation could be worse." "What are we waiting for then? Save her." Martin was terrified of wasting even a second. His eyes returned to Serena. Back at the Collins residence, he hadn't taken a good look at her. Now he noticed her face was so swollen it was nearly unrecognizable. "Her face is injured too?" Martin asked. As they tended to her wounds, the doctor explained, "It looks like she's taken quite a few slaps, and there are even burns that look like they've been caused by hot water." "What did you say?" "Burned with hot water." Had the Collins family resorted to scolding her? No, it couldn't be. They couldn't be that cruel. If they intended to scold her, why only her face? Was the water extremely hot? Martin asked, the pain in his heart intensifying. "Not extremely, but hot enough to cause burns, especially since facial skin is delicate." Martin speculated, could it be that upon hearing what she had done, someone in a fit of rage had thrown their cup of hot tea at her, resulted in the burns? "Hey doc, what the heck happened to her forehead? Why are there so many gashes?" Martin asked, pain etching his voice. "There's a bunch of glass shards in Serena's forehead. Doesn't look like they just splashed on her, seems like she was banging her head against something." Martin was in disbelief. "You're telling me she did this to herself?" If she had just fallen face first, the cuts wouldn't be so deep, cover such a large area. It looks like she repeatedly hit her head to embed the glass deeper into her skin. Some of these wounds look like she tried to dig out the glass herself, which only made the infection worse. "Mr. Cooper, brace yourself. If she pulls through, these scars might be permanent. And such scars couldn't be removed by laser treatment." At those words, Martin's heart clenched with agony, unable to fathom the helplessness and pain she must have felt. Serena always cared so much about her looks, whether in life or death, he couldn't bear the thought of her being scarred. Plus, if there's glass in her knee that's been there for a while, even surgery might not spare her from walking problems. The doctor hadn't finished when Martin's shocked gaze stopped him. "What did you just say?" Martin's heart took another hit. Did he mean that his Serena, even if she survived, might be left limping? Or worse, confined to a wheelchair for life? "Is it really that bad?" Martin asked, struggling to believe it. "We'll need a comprehensive exam at the hospital to be sure." The doctor couldn't offer a definitive diagnosis. While the RV was equipped with medical gear, it was no match for a hospital. All they could do was tend to her wounds and try to keep her alive. Martin longed to hold Serena's hand, but only then did he notice her palms and the backs of her hands were a bloody mess, with glass shards embedded in the flesh, catching the light. How on earth did her hands get so badly injured? Did she fall into the glass or? Cutting away her clothes, the doctor revealed bruises and cuts all over her body. "Looks like she was beaten with a bat or something." Shoulders, arms, chest, back, no part was spared. Martin's tears fell anew, unable to fathom what she had endured. How utterly desperate she must have felt. Back at Reflections Villa, Louisa ordered every trace of Serena to be wiped clean, not a single item left. She even called the decorators, planning to repaint Serena's old room, the walk-in closet, even the basement, changing everything. All the staff knew that the lady of the house wanted to erase every last trace of Serena, like rubbing out a misspelled word completely, utterly. Dig up all her favorite flowers in the garden. At Louisa's command, the staff uprooted the precious plants, once imported at great expense and rushed over by plane because Serena had taken a fancy to them. But now things had changed. Louisa returned to her bedroom and glanced at the crystal chandelier. She and Serena had picked it out together years ago at a lighting store. Serena had adored it, said it would suit her room perfectly, even wanted to buy it with her own money as a gift. Although Louisa didn't let her pay in the end, the chandelier always reminded her of the times they'd spent together, shopping for lights, home decor, all sorts. "Take down that chandelier," she ordered. The remnants of Serena's presence in the bedroom had been discarded, piece by piece, until now there was hardly anything left. The servants hadn't expected Louisa to order the removal of even that lamp. They dared not disobey, so they quickly took it down and replaced it with an old one from the storage room until they could get a new one. Louisa's gaze drifted towards the master bedroom, now completely purged of any trace of Serena. Later, Hans arrived at the gates of Reflections Villa in his assistant's car. He couldn't help but notice the nearby trash bins overflowing with items associated with Serena. Recalling the tumultuous events at the abandoned construction site, he could imagine his parents' anger and disappointment. He had planned to catch a flight back home the very day the security footage was exposed, but urgent matters abroad had forced him to stay. Now, 3 days later, he was finally here. The lights at Reflections Villa had dimmed, signaling that most had retired for the night. The security guard at the gate hurried to open it for him. "Welcome back, Mr. Collins." "Yeah," Hans nodded in acknowledgement, "thanks for staying up." "No trouble at all," the guard said with a smile, bowing slightly as he welcomed Hans inside. Hans noticed the servants packing up plants and flowers to be thrown out, all once favorites of Serena. "Mr. Collins." "Good evening, Mr. Collins." "Mr. Collins, welcome back." Hans nodded to each greeting. "Has Bella gone to bed?" "It's that time, she should be in her room." Whether she was asleep or not, they weren't sure. "And what about the other person?" Hans inquired further. The servants caught on quickly, bowing their heads. "Mr. Cooper has already taken her back." Hans was surprised. His parents had actually handed Serena over to that kid? It was Mr. Cooper who brought Eric over, in exchange for Serena, one servant hastily added. And Serena had less than half an hour left. Hans finally understood, nodding, "You all should get some rest." "Yes, sir." Once inside, Hans saw the living room was deserted and chilly. He took out his phone and instructed the household security to stay alert, in case Eric's men attempted a rescue that night. "Don't worry, Mr. Collins," they assured him. "Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton have already instructed us. We're on rotating watch tonight. Any sign of trouble, and we'll inform them and you immediately." "Thanks," Hans replied, heading upstairs. He saw Arabella's room was dark now. Then he glanced at what used to be Serena's room, now empty as if she had never been there. Back in his own room, he decided to wait till morning to talk with Arabella. There, in his room, were still a few items Serena had given him. Like a drawing she had given him when they were kids. In the painting, a strapping young lad was pushing a swing for a little girl, her 2 pigtails dancing in the air. The girl on the swing was beaming with joy. With the innocent strokes of a child, Serena scribbled the name Serena on the little girl's dress and jotted down Hans in wobbly letters across the boy's shirt. Off to the side, Chase, Clark, Sean, and David were having a bowl, kicking a soccer around the green field. The weather in the painting was gloriously sunny, the sun itself had a cheerful grin, the flowers seemed to be smiling, and the faces of the people were alight with happiness. A caption at the bottom declared, "A happy day." This was a piece Serena had created back in kindergarten, a treasured keepsake not just for him, but for each brother who had received their own unique scene. Those days were so simply beautiful. Tucked away with this painting in the cabinet were many other mementos. There was the red envelope she had fashioned from an A4 sheet of paper during the holidays, open to reveal her drawings of dollars and sketches of New Year's outfits, along with wishes for the new year. Besides these, there were letters Serena had written to him, handmade birthday cards, including crafts. The first suit and shirt she bought him when he started at the corporation. He had kept everything pristine. But now, as he looked at each item, flooded with memories, he ultimately tossed them all into the trash. Meanwhile, Sean had asked his help to wash and dry the clothes Bella had sent him with utmost speed. Fresh out of the shower, he slipped into them immediately. Eyeing himself in the mirror, he couldn't help but admire how much better his sister's designs looked on him compared to his old haute couture. They were leagues ahead. Pulling out his phone, he struck a pose and snapped a photo, about to send it to his sister when a knock came at the door. Who's there? Who would be knocking at his door this late? The person outside didn't respond but knocked again, steadily and patiently. Sean sent the photo to his sister, praising her design talent in the text, and opened the door, only to be greeted the next second by a flying fist. Reacting quickly, Sean caught the fist and exclaimed in surprise, "Hans? When did you get back?" Hans's face was stern, his tone icy. "Time to settle the score for messing with our sister." No matter how brash Sean could be, he always toned it down a notch in front of Hans. "Hans, it's all a big misunderstanding. Sister spoils me rotten. Look, I'm even wearing the pajamas she sent me." Hans glanced and recognized the trophy Sean had flaunted to him earlier that day. "Don't think that just because you've sweet-talked our sister, all the past grievances are wiped clean." Hans was still itching to throw a punch. Sean quickly grabbed his fist, pleading, "Hans, your timing couldn't be better. Tell me what you think of these pajamas, huh?" Hans gave him a disdainful once-over and didn't mince his words. "They're wasted on you." "What do you mean? Don't you think these pajamas designed by our sister look as though they were tailor-made for me? They look great, right?" Sean said, a mischievous smirk playing on his lips as he eyed Hans. "Don't tell me you've never received such a gift, so." Hans's gaze turned frostier. "No worries. I'll put in a good word for you with our sister. Maybe she'll send you a couple of sets too. I'm the one with her on WhatsApp now." "So you're a grown man and still mooching off your own family?" Hans thought, "Always having your sister send you stuff, aren't you ashamed?" "It's my sister's way of showing she cares. Besides, I'll be giving her a credit card soon so she can shop to her heart's content." "You haven't been taking advantage of her, have you?" Hans eyed him with a mix of skepticism and distrust. He thought, if you weren't, why did David say you upset her? "It was just a bit of a misunderstanding. It's a long story, but now we're getting along great. The surgery I had was done by her. If you lay a hand on me, you're going to have to answer to her." Sean played the sister card to defend himself. At that, Hans's concern flickered. "You got hurt? When did that happen?" "Not too long ago." Sean dodged the details, smirking instead. "These stitches were sewn by our sis. She told me to take it easy for a while, so even if you want to hit me, Hans, you'll have to wait until I'm all healed up." Hans unclenched his fist. "I'll talk to her tomorrow. If you really did bully her, I wouldn't mind adding a few more scars to your collection. Hey Hans. You're leaving just like that? You haven't even told me if you like my pajamas. Got a minute? I have a few other pairs I could model for you. Hans turned back, his aura chilling. Good night, Hans. Sean quickly shut the door. Hans made his way to his room, pulling out his phone as he walked, dialing a number, come over tomorrow. The next morning, Arabella woke to find Serena's old room getting a fresh coat of paint, and even the flowers in the garden were being replaced with new varieties. Descending the staircase, she saw two servants carrying a large box with a lamp printed on the side into the house. When they headed towards her parents' bedroom, Arabella asked in a soft voice, "Did Mom and Dad's lamp break?" "When did that happen?" "It's not broken." Serena and Mrs. Collins had picked out a pretty lamp at the store a while back, and the lady had it installed in their room. Last night she couldn't stand looking at it anymore, so she had us take it down. Now the new one's here, and we're about to set it up for her. Arabella nodded in understanding. Carry on then. Yes, Miss Bella. Bella. That was when a gentle voice called out to her. Arabella turned to see Hans had returned. When did you get here? Last night. Hans approached her, his gaze tender. I didn't want to wake you, so I didn't come to see you right away. I've reviewed the security footage of the abandoned construction site. You've been through a lot these past months. He patted her head, a look of remorse in his eyes. I should have been there for you. Let's have breakfast, and then we can talk. Arabella nodded, joining him in the kitchen. Did Sean bully you? Hans served her some oatmeal, placing it in front of her. You don't have to cover for him. I'll take care of it. Our situation is complicated. Arabella gave a wry smile, summarizing the events as succinctly as possible. But she left out the parts about Sean threatening to skin her and leave her at that mountain, or his exorbitant demands for the price of his island, which only worsened her opinion of him. So you and Sean are sort of like friends after a fight? To Hans, it sounded like they had simply been investigating the truth behind a hospital fire and stumbled upon each other while following leads. There were some misunderstandings, along with Arabella trying to purchase Sean's island, but Sean kept hiking up the price, leaving a bad impression. According to Bella, Sean didn't take her cash in the end. Instead, he dropped a cool $5 million on candy for her. Good for him, showing some sense. Hans loaded up his sister's plate with more breakfast delights, explaining, I meant to come home to check on you 3 days back, but this nasty business abroad popped up and I had to stick around to handle it. His sister had been rattled by that mess with the derelict building, and here he was, only now showing his concern. He felt a twinge of guilt and self-reproach. You have got your hands full, lots of irons in the fire, it's normal. Don't sweat it, I'm grown up now, don't need to be babied. Arabella understood where Hans was coming from, his situation, his feelings. Take her, for example, she had her own pile of stuff to sift through, often too swamped to catch a break. Like the company Grandpa Alberto left her to inherit, she hadn't even had the chance to pop over there once. And with the new year around the bend, she hadn't even had the princess's gown tailored. The first time I came home to see you after you returned, I spotted Serena's low-key shenanigans right off the bat. Hans said while peeling a boiled egg for her. I had a sit down with her back then, but the way she was all jittery and scared, I thought she'd straighten out. Arabella hadn't realized Hans had taken Serena aside. He had seen through her a long time ago, no wonder he'd sometimes expose her little tricks in front of everyone, even with a hint of reproach in his voice. As Hans methodically peeled the shell, his voice remained calm as ever. I even warned Martha. Never thought those two would double down and pull a stunt like this. Seeing Hans place the peeled egg in her bowl, Arabella said, Don't beat yourself up, Hans. Even if we could roll back time, our family would still take her in. What's meant to happen will happen. Because with the Collins family's character, not to mention their wealth, supporting a foster daughter was no issue, especially one they'd grown attached to over 18 years. You don't just toss aside a foster child when your own daughter comes home. Bella. Hans realized his sister had a clear-eyed view of everything. Her principles, her experiences, her breadth of heart, and her grace. Serena couldn't hold a candle to her. Even if Serena had another go at life, she wouldn't reach the heights or the depth of insight Bella demonstrated. I bet you figured out that I deliberately fell into Martha's hands, and I engaged her on purpose, all to show the family their true colors. Hans had indeed noticed, you're brave, smart, and adept at thinking on your feet. You did good, but next time, let's keep the danger to a minimum, shall we? Because luck wasn't always on her side, and it still worried him. This time, it was thanks to Sean. Without him, I wouldn't have gotten out so quickly. So, let's not hold a grudge against Sean, okay? He's been good to me. Seeing his sister sticking up for Sean, Hans nodded gently. But if he ever dares to cross you, you should tell me, alright? Will do. Breakfast done, Hans ushered her into the study and sent out a message, you can come in now. A person quickly appeared on the study's balcony, moving so fast Arabella barely caught how he got there before he was bowing before them. This is my sister, Arabella Collins, Hans introduced her in his usual composed tone. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Collins, the man said, his disciplined demeanor suggesting he was no ordinary Joe. This is Lone Wolf. Heard of him? Hans looked to Arabella. Lone Wolf. Arabella was surprised. She hadn't expected the legendary Lone Wolf to be a real person. Rumor had it his team moved like phantoms in the night, quite elusive, commanding respect from many people. And here he was, one of Hans' own. Hans had such a force at his disposal, kept so well hidden. From now on, he's with you. Hans' words took Arabella aback. What? You can command him and his men to do anything, have them protect you from the shadows. Hans was entrusting his most capable, most trusted squad to his sister. The incident had him worried sick about his sister possibly facing danger. He couldn't stand the thought of anything happening to her. And what about you? Arabella's gaze shifted towards Hans. You've given me all your most trusted and capable guys. What about you, Hans? There are others at my disposal. Don't worry about me, Hans replied before turning to Lone Wolf. From now on, whatever Bella asks of you, you do it. No need to report back to me. Stick with her and you'll be fine. Understood. Lone Wolf nodded, bowing slightly to Arabella as a sign of his allegiance. I'll follow Miss Collins' lead from here on out. Just then, Hans heard footsteps outside and glanced at Arabella. She quickly signaled for Lone Wolf to step back. Swift as a shadow, Lone Wolf vanished from their presence. Arabella was impressed. He could move in and out undetected, even with the Collins family's extensive surveillance. His skills were indeed exceptional. I know you've got plenty of guys, but one more can't hurt, Hans said gently. Got your phone on you? Yes. Arabella pulled out her smartphone, and to avoid prying eyes, Hans keyed in a number himself. This is his contact, Hans cautioned. I know your phone's secure. Encrypt his number and keep it hidden. Will do. Arabella looked at Hans, feeling a warm sense of gratitude. Meanwhile, descending the stairs, Sean wore a smile as fresh as the spring breeze. The staff noticed his good spirits and greeted him. Good morning, sir. What was got into Sean today? He seemed so cheery. Could it be because Serena's not around? Didn't you see my new pajamas? Sean's sudden remark caught the staff off guard, but they quickly complimented him. Your new pajamas look sharp, Sean. Right? I think they're quite nice too. A gift from Bella. Sean couldn't hide his pride. That explained it. The staff didn't expect Sean to have such a childish and endearing side. Mr. Sean, you are so lucky to have such a thoughtful and caring sister. The design Miss Bella chose is so stylish. You look incredibly handsome in it. Your pajamas are both warm and trendy. Miss Bella sure has a unique touch. Mr. Sean, breakfast is ready whenever you are. Basking in their praise, Sean's spirit soared. I'll wait for Bella to wake up before eating. Miss Bella has already had breakfast with Hans, one of the staff informed him. She was up early today. Sean was shocked. He thought, what? She's finished already? What time is it even? Has Hans whisked his sister away already? Why didn't you wake me up? He grumbled, annoyance lacing his tone. The servant bit her lip, struggling for words. In this household, nobody dared to rouse Sean from sleep. Nobody but Hans. Yet, she dared not voice this truth, merely replying, "Next time, I'll be sure to wake you, Mr. Sean." Learning that his sister had already had breakfast, Sean felt his own appetite wane. He nibbled on a few bites before setting off to find her. At that moment, Arabella and Hans were about to check on Eric, who was locked in the basement, when a servant rushed in with urgent news. "Mr. Collins, Miss Collins, Eric's been motionless for quite some time," the servant said, breathless with worry. "We didn't dare to open the door and check, fearing a trick, but from the surveillance, he's been in the same position for so long, it looks like he might be dead." Without hesitation, Arabella and Hans hurried down to the basement. There lay Eric, sprawled on the floor. As Arabella moved to check on him, Hans held her back. "Let me go first." Concerned for his sister's safety, he feared Eric might be faking. Arabella nodded, watching as Hans approached and cautiously checked for Eric's breath. It took a moment before he announced, "He's gone, cold to the touch." Arabella stepped forward to examine the body and concluded, "He died about 2 hours ago, around 6:30 this morning. Did either of you notice anything unusual at that time?" She looked up, questioning the 2 servants nearby. The servants, visibly shaken, shook their heads. "We've been on watch the whole time, saw nothing out of the ordinary, and nobody has come by." Because Mr. and Mrs. Collins were worried about accomplices coming to rescue him, they set a trap outside. If someone had slipped him poison, we couldn't have missed it. The servants were near tears, fearing the blame for this oversight. They bowed deeply, trembling, not daring to lift their heads as they spoke. "You were on watch the entire time? Never stepped away?" Arabella pressed. "We each took turns to use the restroom, but one of us always stayed. Miss Bella, we swear it wasn't us. We didn't kill him." Their bodies were bent at a 90-degree angle in fear. They knew the man was of great importance to the Collins family, and now with him dead, they were naturally the prime suspects. "Mr. Cooper brought him in last night unconscious. We assure you, he didn't wake up for a moment. We kept a close eye on the surveillance, there couldn't be a mistake. At first, he was just lying there, occasionally moving a bit. Then he was still for so long, we thought perhaps he was trying to lure us in. We didn't want to disturb your rest since you hadn't gotten up yet, so we didn't voice our suspicions, just kept watching. Miss Bella, his death has nothing to do with us, we're not his accomplices." Their voices were tinged with a cry, anxious and unsure of what to do. "I'm not suspecting you, just asking for details." "Calm down," Arabella reassured them before turning to Hans. "I need to get something." Hans nodded, staying by Eric's side. Arabella returned shortly with her medical kit. Inside, alongside the acupuncture set, were various other items. She took a detection kit from it and took his blood as sample. Several minutes passed. The detection kit finally showed the result. He died of poisoning. Arabella's conclusion sent a wave of panic through the two. Poisoned? How could this have happened? Now they were in deep trouble, and not even the mighty Mississippi could wash away their suspicion. Under their watch, Eric had been poisoned. But as to when this had happened, they were clueless. "Let's keep this under wraps for now," Arabella directed, her gaze steady on them. "You two will continue your duties here as if nothing's amiss." "Yes, miss," they replied, shivering. "All right, dry those tears. Take a break over there, but stay out of sight. I'll call you when I'm done." The basement was expansive, housing not only this room, but also many other rooms like a game room, a home theater, and a storage room. Besides these, there were 2 small gardens in the basement, perfectly illuminated by shafts of light from above. "Steer clear of the gardens," Arabella instructed, wary of onlookers from above. "Yes, miss," they nodded before retreating. "Hans, I want to perform an autopsy on the body, see what kind of poison leads to his death. Maybe we can find some clues," Arabella whispered to Hans. "Make sure to tell Mom and Dad without anyone overhearing." "Got it. You sure you don't need an extra pair of hands to help?" "It's better if it's just me, I don't want to draw attention." "All right, come up when you're done," Hans said before leaving. Arabella closed the door, slipped on her gloves, and laid out her tools, a scalpel, shears, and bone cutters among others. Elsewhere, Louisa was grappling with the news of Eric's death, her mind reeling with disbelief. Could Martin have poisoned him last night before delivering him to us? Was he afraid Eric would suffer more in our hands, so he decided to strike first, give him a quick out? Was this a plan Martin and Eric had hatched together, or was it Martin acting alone? The thought that Martin might have double-crossed her sent Louisa spiraling into rage. On the surface, Martin proposed a trade, but behind the scenes, he'd pulled a fast one. Eric was the key to unraveling the truth behind the fire at the old health clinic. If only he could identify the mastermind, the whole truth would emerge. But now Eric was dead, and with him, all leads had come to a dead end. Eric is Serena's biological father, after all. How could Martin just hand him over to face our wrath? So, it's either a fake death, a ruse to slip by us, or... Kenneth's speculation was cut short by Hans's input. It's likely a true death. Bella's diagnosis is never off, Kenneth. If it were a faked death, Bella's medical expertise should have caught it. If it's a real death, then there's only one explanation. Martin poisoned Eric before the handoff, whether Eric was complicit or not. That Martin playing us for fools. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Louisa fumed, dialing Martin's number with a vengeance. Meanwhile, Martin sat on a bench outside the emergency room, surrounded by highly skilled doctors who had yet to bring Serena back from death's door. The light above the emergency room had been on all night, and still, there was no good news. Then his phone rang. Martin glanced at the screen, and saw it was Louisa calling. "Mrs. Collins," he answered, his voice laced with fatigue but nonetheless respectful. "Martin, after all the trust the Collins family has placed in you, how could you do something like this? Did you ever intend to deliver Eric to us alive?" "What are you talking about?" Martin's gaze darkened with surprise and gravity. "How did Eric die? When?" Before he had handed Eric over, the man had been perfectly fine. "Don't play dumb with me. Now I want his daughter back. Alive or dead, I need proof." "Ma'am, could there be some misunderstanding?" Martin quickly tried to clarify. "When we captured Eric, we indeed used a sedative, but it was only meant to knock him out for a few hours. My team just knocked him out, nothing more. How he died, I implore you to enlighten me." He had thought that if Eric ended up in the Collins' hands, his fate would be rough, but at least he'd still have a breath in him. But he hadn't expected to lose the man overnight. If Serena ever woke up and asked about her father, how would he ever explain? "Are you sure you didn't have a hand in this?" Louisa clearly didn't believe him. "If I had meddled in this, then I, Martin, swear I shall never be with Serena in this life or the next." He believed it was the most binding oath he could make. Louisa, hearing this, started to waver in her suspicion. If it was not you, then who had done this? Who would want Eric dead? "Mrs. Collins, I don't have all the details. Eric is Serena's biological father. I would never harm him behind her back. I therefore request your clear judgment. I would stake my life, even the lives of my entire family, to swear that I have no involvement in this matter." He was innocent. Louisa knew how much he valued his family. But if it wasn't Martin, who else could be responsible? Louisa hung up. The sound of the call disconnecting echoed in Martin's ear. He just couldn't fathom how Eric had died so suddenly. At that moment, the doors to the emergency room swung open, and a group of doctors emerged. Martin quickly pocketed his phone and marched towards them. "How is she?" "The patient's wound has become severely infected. Bacteria have entered the bloodstream and caused a systemic infection. Her organs are showing signs of failure. You need to be prepared, Mr. Cooper. There's a very high possibility that she might." "No." Martin was struck as if by thunder. "Please, there must be something you can do. Aren't you some of the best doctors in the world? Why can't you save a single person? I'll pay whatever it takes, just save her. The patient's condition is critical. Her vital functions and organs have all been seriously affected. We're truly sorry, we have done all we can." The doctors lowered their heads in helpless guilt. No. Martin couldn't accept this reality. She mustn't die. There's got to be a way, please. Even though he'd braced for the worst when he'd taken Serena from the Collins' clutches the previous night. Facing the grim outcome now,
He simply couldn't bear it. His Serena couldn't die. If she died, what would he do? How can she be saved? Just tell me how. Martin said, nearly losing his control.
For listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.